Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are here. It is season 8. We've got the Ruby Draft. I am going to be your host, your community manager, your poop can, your soup can, your Ajax. I'm joined with, I'm going to call you now the resident Ruby expert. The amount of times I've dragged you into this silly little casting booth. I've got Liam, who is a previous MVP, previous winner. Liam, are you excited?
Oh yeah, I'm so excited. I've played with or against or in the vicinity of a lot of these people on the list here, so got a lot of names I recognize here.
There's going to be a lot of people we recognize, and shout out to Bonaparte in particular, but also the marketing team. We got so many people. I think, Liam, you just said it was 171 signups, official can play, so huge numbers. Thank you, everybody, for signing up. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. But before we start talking about draft picks, we have to talk about what's going on. So right now, we are the Ruby Draft. This is the highest of high. That means anybody who is Diamond 2 peak on any role or higher is eligible to be drafted. Your teams that are going to be drafting in order is Chicago Syndicate, the Louisville Gamble, Buffalo Bolts, Havana Hurricanes, Pittsburgh Phantoms, and Vancouver Wild. Now, this is not a regular draft. It is a snake draft. That means that round 1 will be the teams I said. Round 2 will then be Vancouver, Pitt, Havana, Buffalo, Louisville, Chicago, aka it's reverse. So, with those teams coming in, you're thinking like, oh, Vancouver, poor cake, he got last. No, he gets second round first pick. It's going to be great. With that being said, there are a lot of names. As I said, if you're Diamond 2 peak or higher, you are eligible in here. The Diamond 1 to Diamond 2s can still fall down to Sapphire if they are not picked. However, if you get drafted up to Ruby, good luck. We'll see you hanging out. We've got a long season. And I think we might have the first pick coming in from Chicago now. This is going to be exciting because this is the first pick overall. We're going to see Tetanus.
Oh boy, Tetanus. Now, this is a console player, and there's actually quite a few console players, high-ranked console players joining this season. I haven't seen them around, but tank players, so have that to look forward to.
I saw Tetanus in combines. They were doing pretty good. I think Chicago picking a very good tank early. Huge pick. Like you mentioned, it's the console, so maybe might struggle against some of our other tanks that we know, like a Vanguard. He's going to be obviously the big tank that we got to talk about considering he's done so well. But there's a couple other tanks that have joined in that might do pretty good. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, there's a lot of console players here, so they're kind of unknowns, but I feel like tank is the easiest role to play console on against a lot of PC players because all you really need is game sense and positioning. So,
yeah, with the picks of Ramacho, Ryan, and Winston as well, those are some solid, if you go back to Overwatch 1, your main tanks where you're taking the space, you're trying to look to effectively position your team around, I think could be a pretty good pickup. But I think we now have the first pick of Louisville, and there is a prediction in the chat. If you want to predict when Louisville will pick up Smooth, if they pick up Smooth, don't forget to try your channel points off at that. But I think the second pick of our first round is coming in. And let's see who we're getting. We're getting Lemon.
So this is someone I did experience in 10-mans a little bit, which is another console player, but his aim goes hard. He can hit his shots. So definitely someone to watch out for and a very high-ranked player. So.
Yeah, Lemon hitting the top 500 on DPS as well. Last season on Dallas, came into the end of the season, but still showed up, right? I mean, Lemon just did a lot of work. I'm excited to see how they do again. I believe their typical is like hit scan, like an Ash Soj. Tracer was the one that I remember the most, though. I'm not sure if he swapped around in 10-mans against you, Liam.
He was on Widow in 10-man, so a bit of Tracer as well, but.
Gotcha. So far we've had 2 top 500 players going on the board. We got a tank and a damage player out. It is going to be Buffalo's turn. There are still a lot of great picks on the board. I am curious to see, if Buffalo has a certain strategy. Liam, are there any people Well, I'm sure there's a lot of people you're looking out for, but do you have a prediction right now?
Well, I mean, I know Essel is has played in UR before, but has been away for a couple of seasons. So if people don't remember them, it'll be the dark horse. But if people do remember them, they'll make a hell of a player on the teams.
Well, Buffalo has put in their pick, so I believe we're going to get to see that in a second. Buffalo's first round pick is going to be Adbon, the Reaper only, who said Reaper was ass, so no longer Reaper player.
I heard through the grapevine that he wanted to play a bit of Freya this season, so that's going to be a lot of fun. I've been totally enjoying dealing with that character.
If we're looking at Adbon, I mean, this is a great pickup. Clearly, you can see, Roll Star 4 times, I think, Champion 3 times. He got MVP as well. Adbon has been around for a long time. I won a championship with him. Great leader. If you need somebody to have that in-game leadership, I think he is a go-to. Very strong personality, knows what's going on. I think Buffalo has a huge pickup there.
Yeah, good game sense all around. It's got a lot of that we know of and trust in.
And so now it's time, because it's Havana's pick. And I don't know, Liam, do you know who the GM of Havana is?
If I remember correctly from last season, it was a certain can of the soup variety.
Yes, sir. It is my pick. I wonder who might I have picked. I'm being told I have the pick in. Let's see who I'm scooping up. Who's this first rounder?
I'm curious. Oh, the Frost Lock. Frost has
stealing
also
my Frost.
played in UR before, but he's been away for a couple seasons. Someone from RIT, much like Adbon. Another classic, very strong hit scan player. He's very good at the game, so definitely have building your DPS line, I can see.
As soon as I saw Frost signed up, I knew I needed him back. We won season 2 together. He came back for season 5 on Philly in that late season run. They made it to finals, went to 7 maps. Unfortunately, did fall short to Chicago. But Frost, as soon as I saw him in, I knew I wanted him. And so overall, just a great pick. And now this is the one that I think we were waiting for, because now it's Pitt. It's Pitt's turn. Pitt is hanging out. Shout out Vanguard for taking over Pitt since Stan moved away from it. But I'm excited to see who's Vanguard's pick, as I believe it's coming in.
Here we go. That's all. I saw that coming.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. Connor knows Eve well. Very strong Genji player, and I mean, fun to play with. Like, really good. I don't know. It'll be a fun team or a painful team to play against. Connor and Eve on the same team, because that's strong tank and strong DPS.
It's insane. You mentioned it. Eve was in season 2, did amazing things. Now, over time, Essel and Vanguard play together a lot. The RIT squad, they are going to have some great synergy. I think that team is already looking scary. But I think there's going to be another pick that we can probably suspect now, too, because it's Vancouver's turn. And Cake has mentioned something about a first-round pick that I think we both know where this is going.
I think Cake is a fan of a certain Choco Man.
Do we see the Choco Man? Oh, it's the Choco to Vancouver. Man. Look at that. Ever since he joined in season 2, he's gotten a roll star for every season. That just tells you how elite this man is.
One of the things Cake said to me is that Kyle's comms are really strong, which is funny because on our team, he doesn't comm that much. But when he needs to lock in, he can lock in and run those comms. So he's strong if you really force him to want that win.
Now, I will say, I got to play with Choco last season. Awesome dude. Great player. I did give him the 5-map curse. All of his games recently and in Havana had to go to 5. So Vancouver might be stuck going to 5 against a lot of these teams. Vancouver...
I just want to throw in the other dark horse, the person that has not played in UR before, but part of the team we play all together on. Actual. He is a strong main support that may get put by the wayside, and maybe Connor's staring at right now, so we'll see.
Well, we'll have to see because now it is round 2. That order gets swapped. Vancouver gets another pick.
Yeah, Cake gets a second pick.
Going with Justice.
Locking in a tank, which makes sense. As we mentioned before, there's not that many tank mains going around, so makes sense to lock in your tank pick early. So he gets his Chocoman DPS line and his Justice tank line. Makes sense.
I've seen Justice in the combines. Did really well. I am excited to see how they get to play together. Vancouver's going to be, waiting for their pick as we got a lot to go through. But now it's back to Pitt. And like you said, Actual is on the board. Both Essel and Vanguard have played with them a lot. Could be a quick snipe for Pitt if he's not looking at anybody else.
Yeah, I think that'll be Vanguard's strongest pick here. Is he's got a strong DPS. He has himself on lock for a third pick, and he will have the actual main support. I think that'll make a strong team for sure.
Well, let's see if Pitt is going to take Actual as we get the pick in. It is going to be Actual.
There we go. Locking it in. Makes sense. I mean, we all knew the retirement home people would get picked early enough, and this is shaping up to be a strong Pitt team right now.
Pitt's looking to take the lead early. One thing I do want people to know out there, Actual, no mercy. I played against him in ranked randomly. It was himself, Blue Jay, who's still an awesome player, still on the list, and another RIT person who I don't think signed up this season.
ZP Link.
ZP is on the link. Huh? Okay.
He's on the list.
Well then, all three of them dumpstered me in that ranked game. Shout out to you three for screwing my chances of climbing, but it is gonna be my pick again. And we're talking about a lot of the RIT people. I've got a lot of options. I gotta think strategically. I gotta really lock in. Who do I want to pair with Frost? And so I thought about it, and I think I have the pick. Could be in. Let's see who I'm sniping now.
Yeah, I was gonna say it sounds like you're picking me.
I wanted to Liam.
Who could have seen that coming? Okay. Well, I mean, that's me and Frost. I have not played that much with Frost on the team, but I have played against him a decent number of times and with him a few. So I'm sure we can make that work.
I think a big thing for me is, I know both of you pretty well. The big thing is just your ability to lead the team, get everybody collective. We've seen it in these past couple seasons. You saw the stats up on the board. MVP, winner, it's just all-stars out the wazoo. Very easy pick for me there, but now it's Buffalo's pick. Right now they're sitting on Adbon. It's going to be a question of who they pair with Adbon. There's a lot of good people. Do you think they go, another DPS to just really lock in that line? Do you think they start looking at the tank support? Where do you think this goes?
Now, if they're trying to follow in Vanguard's footsteps from last season, they could pick Shogun Apple, because that's what Vanguard did. He picked Adbon and Shogun Apple as his second and third. So I could see that happening. I could see a strong support, or maybe locking in a tank. It really depends. I think tanks are always something you want to lock in as early as you can. So maybe the rare Mickey pick. Ooh, support.
We have Nightmare coming in. This is someone that I don't think I saw in combines. Is a high-ranked Masters 3 tank player, preferring to play that tank. I'm looking now, and I'm seeing the Diva Sigma Winston. Pretty good picks.
Yeah, it's someone I don't recognize for sure, but there's a lot of new faces here, so hopes are high.
Very excited. So far teams are looking pretty stacked. There are a lot of high-ranked players now. Again, so many people joined, but it's now on Louisville, the gambling squad. They've already got their lemon. So we could see a support. We could see a tank. We could see the just Giga Chad DPS lineup if Rico is cooking. Any guesses as to where that goes?
I feel like, as I said, most teams are trying to lock in their tank, so he has a strong DPS. If he gets a good tank to follow up on that, that's just gonna run a lot of games. But I mean, a lot of the squads are looking strong right now, so I think there's just a higher average rank in Ruby this season. It's gonna be a lot higher level games all around.
It's going to be good to watch, but it is going to be good to see Blue Jay has
the
been
Blue
picked up.
Jay.
Why did he pick Monka for his character of choice?
Well, the Blue Jay has been historically a DPS player in UR, but he plays tank for our team. So,
That is true.
he
That's
is listed
so
as a
funny.
DPS/support though, so I suspect he'll be playing a lot of DPS this season. Maybe coming
Which
out on
a Lemon
the Rat.
J DPS line is scary. The Tracer going to be on you. The Junkrat fire in the mines, as we've seen him do. I can't tell you how many times on Chicago with him, season 5 maybe, he would just knock Faras out of the sky, left and right. Like, Jay is insane on the Junkrat.
He is the certified rat of the league.
That is true. But we are back down to Chicago. They are currently thinking of their pick. And importantly, they're going to get the wheel. Because as soon as Chicago makes their pick for round 2, it's going to go right to round 3 where they get that back-to-back. Currently sitting at a great tank player right now. I wonder who they get to fill in for them.
I see the Shogun Apple. Oh, Yukiro.
No Shogun yet, but we do see Grow.
Could be the third pick.
We see another top 500 player. I believe they're top 500 support. It's a very interesting so far.
Yes, another console player, something to note of. They're making, I don't know. There's going to be a lot of console players around, but doesn't mean you can write them off. Like, still stuff to watch out for there.
This is true. So far, looking at the console demons is marked over in Chicago, but he's going to get, again, like we said, this is third round. He's going to get that wheel pick. He's got his tank. He's got a very good support. Do we see the DPS pull here? Do we see, another support? I'm curious.
I mean, I was mentioning it before it popped up, but I'm predicting the Shogun Apple pick. He hasn't gotten picked yet, and I just see it coming.
You're gonna be just every time just Shogun now, and then we'll see if it happens or not. I think we do have the pick though. So are we gonna see Shogun top of round 3? We're gonna have to see as the pick is in.
Ooh,
No Shogun.
Online.
Iggy the dog.
Once again, there's a name I don't recognize as much. I don't know if they're new rookie season.
They are new.
So
Rookie season. But I will say, I didn't get to see a lot of their gameplay in combines. However, I did hear, very outspoken personality. I don't entirely know comms specific, but a person who is, out there, vocal at the minimum. And so that could be very good for this Chicago roster that's starting to look really scary.
Yeah. Getting a support unlock to match your tank DPS is always a good idea.
Now we're going to see the Louisville pick. And Louisville looking pretty strong. A insane DPS line. I think this is potentially where we start looking at maybe tank. You've mentioned it. We need to see those tanks coming in.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see where Louisville goes. There's a couple tanks in here that are fairly new, but there's a couple in here. Johan's been in the league for a long time now, who's a pretty good tank in there. We see a couple other options. There's one option in particular that I'm looking at that I'm praying he doesn't pick because that's going to make my life harder. But I'm curious to see where Rico is going.
That's what I thought. I was predicting Minky. Let me just say, in my head, I was predicting Minky.
Oh my god! I wanted Mickey so bad. Mickey coming back after retiring for a little bit. You see the Season 3 Ruby Champion. I loved him on Pit. He was awesome. Season 2 Roll Star. Shout out to anybody who remembers John Pork or Baz. Baz was in for a couple seasons early on. Now is playing in, OWCS. Minky was keeping up with him, easily. So Minky as a strong tank with this DPS line of Lemon and Blue Jay, actually just a devious pick there. And it's worse because it pisses me off because I wanted him.
Yeah, tank that knows what they're doing. So definitely one of the few remaining tanks I recognize on the list that we have to watch out for. So
that is true. It's going to be Buffalo's third pick. They've got Adbon. They've got Hobo, aka Nightmare. I'm interested to see where Buffalo goes now for this round 3 pick, as I believe the pick is in.
Okay, let's take a look.
We're going to see Adam. Okay.
Another new player. As we said, there's a lot of those, so.
Adam hitting Diamond 1 does mean she is eligible to jump up into this Ruby roster. And I played with Adam in a couple quick play games with Stitch and Cake. The big thing I'm seeing on here, region, Oceania, right? You're worried about ping. I will say solemnly, no issues on her end. She was going through and just farming people on Kiri. So this is a good support pickup in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, kind of a surprisingly low on the list of options. I mean, I still recognize a few names that haven't been picked yet, but maybe a dark horse, someone we just don't know.
Could be a good pick, but it is now back on me, the Havana. The squad is building, and I'm looking at the list. I'm gonna need a tank player, and I think I have selected the tank that I'm gonna go with.
The last Vanguard.
Oh God! If only I could. That would be so great. Unfortunately, I can't because Vanguard will have to sign himself to Pit eventually, maybe perhaps be soon. But
my prediction is surely going to be Johan, your guy you had last season.
I didn't have Johan. I didn't have Trick. I've not played with Johan, but I am going to get. Oh God, I don't even know how to pronounce his name. I'm just going with. Yeah, I'm going with their Discord art. Saw them combines. They did really well. I'm excited to have them joining the Havana squad.
Ooh, one of those combine scouts. That's what they're good for.
Yes, sir. We do still have some combines for any Sapphire or Emerald players. Wondering, I believe there's actually an Emerald combine after this by somebody. I know there's one before the draft. I'm not entirely certain, to be frank. But now we're going down to Pit. And Liam, any guesses to who may chance Pit might be picking? Any just wild crackpot theories you got, buddy?
I suspect the Vanguard pick might be picking Vanguard. Just a random guess thrown out there.
Random hunch, you may think.
Yeah.
Well, I think Vanguard is going to somehow skate by and potentially not pick himself this round. I think he's going to do something. He's going to bribe off the executive members. I could be bribed. I lied.
Now, what's your price limit to be bribed, though? Really?
To be honest, just 12-pack and some Zins, and I'll be good. It's very, very cheap, to be perfectly honest. But Vanguard's got to pick himself here. And just look at the stats. You know, 3-time champ, 2-time MVP. Ever since he joined, he's been a tank roll star. I mean, the guy's been electric. And now he gets to play with Actual and Essel, people he's very familiar with. It's a scary roster if you're looking to play against Pit.
Yeah, I mean, he knows how to play tank. He can lock it in when he needs to, and he's with people he knows how to play with, so it'll be pretty strong.
Well, now it's back onto Vancouver. They've got the Choco. They've got the Just This. I'm curious to see if if Cake's got his eye on anybody in particular. There's still some recognizable names out there, like a Shogun. You mentioned Ziply. I'm very excited to see where Cake goes. But I believe the pick is coming in here in a second. So we will be finding out very soon. Recall. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I know this name. New player. We can see the rookie season. I don't think I saw him in combines. I feel like I've seen this name in 10-mans. Not a bad player, but I don't know. Not a pick I was expecting, because I was kind of expecting a support player after getting a tank and DPS. But they do have another pick after this, so maybe they're locking their support in right now. Oh, could be. Now, we did see the Genji there. A good Genji goes hard. Shout out my boy Pudu, who, again, still on the list. But like you said, locking in a tank, locking now the DPS line, looking to shore up some of the supports. There is one in particular. Actually, there's two in particular three in particular. I'm adding to the fucking list as we speak. There's a couple people that I'm looking at, and I wonder which one Cake is leaning towards. I'm sure
Yeah,
you recognize
I wonder
some
how
of those
many he
names.
knows. I do recognize, especially some of the supports on the list. So I wonder which
Right.
ones he's looking at. Both Emerald City and ZP Lee are people I have played a lot with. So
Shout out the RIT squad. We are going to have the pick coming in.
ZP
There
Lee.
it is. Another person who had to just throw my ranked, destroy me in ranked. Shout out that new Queen Street game. I was devastated. Very good
Overwatch
player.
players go hard for their SR.
I'm seeing the Atakiri Lucio. Are they typically, that kind of main support there, or do they see a lot of the flex?
Tend to flex support. A pretty strong Ana, and just all around fun person to hang out with. So pretty nice guy, is what I'll say.
And now having, Ziply and Choco together, again, that synergy from pre-existing teams. Looking pretty strong so far in Vancouver, but now it's the Titans. It's Pitt's pick again. There's still some good names out there, too.
Yeah, I mean, I just mentioned Emerald City. If Vanguard wanted to make a team full of RIT people, that would probably be the next pick. Yeah, I mean, there's other options around as well, but we'll see where it ends.
Well, we are going to have Pitt's pick in now, so let's see what Vanguard is cooking up, as we're going to see Shogun.
I forgot he was still on the list. Oh my goodness.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I mean, get him on support and it'll be strong, but he can also play some of the other roles pretty well, so good game sense, high-level gameplay, just experience and all that, so just definitely a strong pick, and Vanguard played with him last season too.
Now, something to note, Shogun did want to play tank this season. Do you ever see the Shogun tank coming to Pitt?
I mean, it could happen, because I know Vanguard loves his Hanzo and some of the DPS, so because he played DPS on our team for a while, so
that is true.
They could make it work if they want to.
I'm excited for the just RIT squad on Pitt that is just accumulating right now. But right now, it's a Havana pick. I've got to look at what I want, and I'm looking at the players left, and there's one that has my eye. Been around for a little bit. I think it's going to be a good pickup here, as the pick will come in here in a second. We're going to have to see who's coming to Havana as the pick is in. Let's swing over and see who's joining the good old Pufferfish squad.
Confessor, in fact.
Confessor, Gravelot, a player who's played on a couple other teams. And, last season specifically on Detroit, we saw a lot of good things. A lot of great just throwing themselves off the map like 3 times in a row in one of their matches. Quite funny, to be honest. But they are joining the Havana squad.
Yeah, console player, pretty strong. I think the strongest character I've seen on them is Tracer for sure. Don't let the console fool you, because they can get their picks and go in and get value. So, for sure.
All right, well, now it's going to be Buffalo's pick. They've got Adbon, they've got Adam, they've got Nightmare. So far, we've got an insane DPS. We're looking at, I believe Nightmare's probably going to be playing that tank role. So either looking to get that second DPS or that second support locked in now. And like you said, there's still a couple good support players that we know, some new support players as well. Curious to see where Buffalo goes with this pick, as they are debating right now. They're taking a lot of time. And I say that. I think the pick is in. Laggy has figured it out. He's put it on the table, and he's going to grab Wanu.
Okay.
Wanu on Dallas and Buffalo, I believe, for the past 2 seasons? Maybe? I think, yeah, that's about right. But, Laggy has played with Wanu before on Buffalo. That was the season 6, where Buffalo was the #1 seed for basically the season, and then War came in with the Avengers towards the end there.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a name I don't necessarily recognize, but I'm sure they've been around. But yeah, getting a support in is always strong. I think sometimes scheduling is hard with EU because I noticed that, but yeah, let's make it work. So Good
Looks
luck.
like they've got a good roster so far. Now down to Louisville, who I'm still spiteful for because they stole my Minky pick. Let's see if they can steal any other picks, as we're going to see Emerald City.
Yeah. Mentioned the name already. I knew they were on the list to get picked. Pretty decent support player. Was the manager of RHE Overwatch last year. Nice person to hang out with. So
Now they're hanging out
Good
with
vibes.
Jay, Minky, and now Lemon. Minky was RIT, right?
Oh yeah,
I'm like
yeah.
90% confident. Okay.
He is RIT as well.
So RIT squads are going hard right now. Louisville looking pretty good with that support pick, but now it's back to Chicago. Again, they have the wheel. We're looking at the end of round 4, soon to be going into round 5. And so far, they've got tank, DPS, and support. Can really just kind of pick from a lot of these great players up here left. You know, we see another, GM3, GM4 supports if they wanted to look in that direction. I'm curious to see where they go, as I believe Chicago's pick is in.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's a few people left on the list that said they could flex all roles, so I'm sure that might be some of the round 5 or round 6 picks people are looking at. Tank DPS.
So has that flexibility in there. We're seeing the Widow on there, but a lot of the Echo Soj Tracer. I'm liking that from a DPS. Having that flexibility to kind of swap between your traditional hit scan versus projectile. I think that's a good pickup for this squad.
Yeah, and I mean also a strong looking tank as well. Ranked pretty highly M2 on tanks, so definitely the ability to switch roles if need be to fill the team is definitely strong.
So far, Chicago looking pretty good. They're going to get another pick here as we're going into round 5. This is our second to last round. And if you're keeping track of the predictions so far, Louisville has not grabbed Smooth. So if you predicted round 1, 2, 3, or 4, I'm sorry about your channel points, but not really at all. Chicago could do the funniest thing right now and draft Smooth. They could not. It's all going to be up to Mark as to what they want to fill out this roster. Curious to see. Chicago, officially the pick is in. Dyer, another great returning player.
Yeah, that's the name I recognize at the very least. Looking strong and
The support.
yeah, the support has been ranked, so.
This is the second time Dyer has played support, because Dyer was support on the Philly roster when they had a very good roster in season 5. He was their primary Lucio player, I believe, and did really well. But then a couple seasons after that, played a little bit of tank, played a little bit of DPS. Now we're going to see him on Chicago locking in support. I think that could be good.
Yeah, I mean, ranked pretty highly on there. M5 is not bad, so.
Now, the question becomes, Louisville's pick. For all the people in chat wondering, if Smooth is coming in, he's still on the board. He might be a round 6 pickup. I'm not sure. But Smooth is on there. There's also a lot of other, just good players up there. We still have a lot of these players. You mentioned Johan, a great DPS, a great tank as well. JS is in there, a highly ranked support. Spaznik, who was on Ottawa, who did really well in the Zen last season. Mountain, who's a great tank in there. We see a lot of great options.
Yeah, there's a lot of people on there, and then definitely some new names. You even mentioned Pudu, also on there, played pretty well, so got the role star.
We're gonna have to see what Louisville wants, as I believe their pick is coming in here shortly. Will we see the Louisville Smooth again, or will Smooth survive another round? We're gonna have to find out here in a second. There it is. We knew it was finally escaped. Wait, I don't think I knew you were putting that in. Oh no. Oh, Smooth has been gripped by Rico yet again. Anybody in chat who predicted the round 5, congratulations on your channel points. That is hysterical. But Smooth also just a very good player.
Yeah, and they also showed the Freya, and Freya is pretty strong right now. So anybody that learns that character and gets good at hitting their shots can be a menace.
Oh my god, yeah. I mean, we saw Smooth do great things these past couple seasons. The one particular that stands out to me is that season 5 on Vancouver when they made it to finals. Smooth was, in my eyes, one of the bright spots of that team. Unfortunately, not able to escape Louisville, not able to escape Rico. He's got him in his clutches. But it is going to be Buffalo's turn. We see Adbomb, we see Adam, we see Wanu and Nightmare. I wonder where Buffalo is going to take this pick, but I believe it's coming in. So we're going to have to see. We're going to see Trick. This is notably not Trick who played on Havana as the tank last season. This is a different Trick. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
It is absolutely confusing, unfortunately. But DPS support player. Again, having that flexibility to move around if needed.
Yeah, I mean, getting flexible people at this stage in the draft is always a good idea because you want people to be able to round out your stronger picks for sure.
Not only that, but a top 500 DPS could really do some damage pairing up with Adbon on that squad. But we have Havana pick. We're looking at the roster. I'm going to need a support. There's a couple names on there that I think I'm leaning towards, but there's going to be one that I'm going to pick as we look at the remaining players. The Havana pick is in, and we are going to see it here very shortly. Gonna go with Elik.
Now that is definitely a name I do not recognize in a rookie season, so.
Very highly ranked support player. I'm gonna be honest, this one's an unknown. I did not see them much in combines. I don't know if they've been in 10-mans as much, but a very good support player. Has some Juno Kiri, as we can see on there. But is labeled as flex, so might be able to move around if need be. So far, 4. I can count. 4 of our rosters have 5 members. Now it is up to Pitt to make their 5th round pick. And God, what could Vanguard be cooking? He's got so much heat packed in this squad. Not many RIT people left, or any at all, if I'm not mistaken.
I can't think of any that haven't been picked yet, but yeah, I mean, he can round out the squad with, I don't know, just a known, maybe a Pudu pick, just getting in someone that's been in the season for a while.
This is where we find out that Foliage returned and somehow submitted his intent form, and nobody figured it out until now.
The Foliage comeback.
That would be hysterical. Pitt is going to grab Jake. There's a lot of letters and numbers in there, but I see Jake in there. Jake's rookie season going over to the God Squad of Pitt.
Console DPS. As I said before, console doesn't necessarily mean they're not a threat, and that is a GM DPS player, so definitely something to watch out for.
The GM5 DPS pick, I'm looking, and I'm seeing some hit scan as well. That's going to pair very well with Essel, who is typically that, flex DPS. Known for the Genji and the Venture. For me specifically, those are the 2 big ones. I don't know what else Essel likes to play.
You've been missing out on the legendary Essel Farah, which hasn't seen too much light of day recently. But yeah.
Okay. I'm interested. All right. Well, we're going to round out round 5 with Vancouver's pick. Vancouver, again, is going to get the wheel, but here is their round 5 pick as it's coming in. And I believe this is a name we both have seen before. We're going to see Mountain.
Yeah, I was on a team with him last season. Good mental, fun to play with, and definitely able to learn. So I think that'll be a strong pick.
Something to note, Mountain is wants to play the support. That is what he put in for his intent form. So you're rounding out with a Mountain support. I don't think we saw Mountain play any support last seaon. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, we did see a bit of Mountain DPS last season when I locked the tank for a bit. So
that was true.
He's able to flex on a lot of different roles. I know he's capable of it, so I don't doubt his support gameplay for sure.
I like it a lot. Well, now round 6 is here. This is the last round of the Ruby draft. Still a lot of names on there that we know. Still a lot of names on there that we don't know. But Vancouver is going to be picking their last man here shortly. So far, rounding out the squad, they've got a good setup. I'm curious to see where Cake goes with this pick.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish it off with the round 6 picks. For some people this will just be subs. Some people this will be like the actual other player you're playing on your team. But just want to fill where you think your weakest link is.
It's nice to have, you mentioned this earlier, it's nice to have some flexibility in that round 6 pick so they can sub when needed, where needed. We're going to see Vancouver's pick coming up here in a second. So let's see what Cake has cooked up. And we're going to see Shiba, a support player.
Another rookie. Once again, name I don't recognize, but locking in a support, I mean, also makes sense if you want to back up the Chocoman line.
Having the support line, kind of carrying with your DPS is very important. I'm excited to see how this Vancouver roster is now that they are the first team to fill it out, but is going to be going back to Pitt's turn. Pitt currently looking insane. I'm curious to where, Vanguard goes. Do you have any thoughts? Any suspicions?
As I said before, I'm running out of people I recognize on this list. I think, as I said, like getting any flex players is always a good idea, but most of the high-ranked players are already gone from the list. So he could just go for somebody that we recognize as strong. This Trick that it was tank player, Poodoo, the DPS player. There's a couple people around that probably getting picked. So we'll see.
We're gonna have to see as Pitt's pick is in. The last pick for Pittsburgh Phantoms as Vanguard is going to be picking up.
He doesn't pick Recon.
I think that was mentioned, but no, he's gonna pick the other support. He's getting his Spaz Nick back.
I would have actually laughed my head off if he picked Recon as the 6th.
I think Recon was in the picture, but I think he needed that Spaznik, played with him last season, a good Zen player who got filled in time. The one thing that I'm curious about, though, is, you look at that support line of Actual and Shogun. Spaz might be having a role that he did last season where he's just filling in on a couple maps, if they wanted a little flexibility. But my concern is if you wanted the Zen player, you have Shogun, right? So I'm curious to see how Vanguard is going to put in Spaznik this season. Unlike last season, where we kind of knew when it was coming.
Yeah, I don't know how much Shogun wants to play Zen in UR. So, we'll see. Maybe Shogun will just lock the DPS for a round and put him Spaznik in on the Zen. So,
could be good. But you know what else could be good? Another Havana pick. And I'm really looking at these lists. And there's one player that I got my eye on. He's the absolute GOAT. I love this guy. We're gonna see the Havana pick. Give me my Poodoo back.
I knew it was coming. I'm surprised it took this long.
Listen, when I saw he was still hanging out here, I was like, there's no way. I gotta get him. This man was electric. Great in comms, great mental. Not only that, but just a fun person to play around. And honestly, genuinely the best moment one of the best moments I think I've had in UR was last season in our first week. We were on the last map against Dallas, and he was playing Genji. D.Va dropped bomb, and he just stands behind a skinny tree. Like, if people know me, skinnier than me. Like, it is probably an inch thick. And he goes, "Save me, tree," and then immediately blows up. Like, he's just hysterical and a great player to have around.
I got to play with Poodoo a little bit during the Roll Star exhibition match. And let me tell you, we went golfing, and we had a great time, so...
I heard there was a lot of golf chat in there and was so confused. I was like, I don't think Liam plays golf.
No, we had a great time, but fun to play with, at least for the little brief time I did. So should be good.
All right. Well, that rounds out Havana's roster. It's going to be Buffalo now, who's looking to grab their 6th player, and I believe the pick is in. We're going to see Buffalo getting their last player. It's going to be Edge, who's going to be playing tank only.
Another rookie season, and tank only is an interesting choice. As I said, you want to have a lot of flexibility, but maybe they want someone to back up their other tank player. So
could have the ability to run, Edge as your tank, swap Nightmare over to support because they signed up on that. So maybe it could be Edge as their tank and a support line of, either Adam and Wanu. You could have Nightmare and Wanu, Adam and Nightmare. A lot of flexibility there.
And Edge is not low ranked, so definitely means he's capable of doing some things. So surely we'll probably get some playtime this season.
Well, that's going to do it for Buffalo. So now we're going to look over to Louisville. Who is Rico going to grab to round out this really good roster? I'm not going to lie, looking scary. I believe the pick is in, so we're going to have to see if,
I predict Smooth.
Rico's...
I'm just kidding.
No Smooth. A Life Weaver from Dante Fan.
I played with him a bit in tryouts. Kind of fun to play with. I got to run it down on tank and tryouts with him on the Weaver. We ran it on King's Row. I don't know. Felt like someone that was willing to have a good time, and you have to be if you're playing Weaver. So
not only that, you need that mental if you're gonna deal with Rico. The Louisville squad is just all gambling, but the Louisville squad also looking very strong. Rounding out a lot of the good RIT members, could be a team to watch out for. But now it is time for the final pick of Ruby. The final round. It is Chicago. We see a good roster so far. I wonder where Marked Up is thinking for this pick.
Yeah, I'm all out of predictions here. I mean,
Surely Smooth.
Use my brain too much. Surely Smooth. The rare Shogun Apple pick will be coming. Yeah, there's plenty of people left on the list and plenty of picks that can happen. So we'll see where it goes.
Well, we are going to see this Chicago pick. Marked has made the selection. The last Emerald player to be signed, we are going to see here in a second as Chicago rounds out this six-man roster with himself.
I mean, that makes sense.
Good DPS player.
I think there's a certain amount where, like, if you could play in either Ruby or Sapphire, some people want to play in the higher league and some people want to play a bit lower. But I think it's always good to get experience at the higher level, and if he's able to hang with the squads at Ruby, then maybe he can become a resident Ruby player,
I know he was looking to try and ranked up and get into that Ruby threshold. He managed to get it. He could be a very good player. 1 Emerald Season 6 on that really good Houston roster. But that is the last pick. So as a quick rundown, your Buffalo Bolts are going to be Adbon, Nightmare, Adam, Wanu, Trick, and Edge. Then heading over to Chicago, Tetanus, Yuriko, Iggy the Dog, Reported, Dyer, and Marked. Havana is Frost, Liam, Arton, Confessor, Elk, and Poodoo. You're going to see Louisville rocking out with Lemon, Blue Jay, Minky, Emerald City, Smooth, and Dante Fan. Pittsburgh Phantoms have Essel, Actual, Vanguard, Shogun, Jake, and Spaznik. Insane team right there. And Vancouver is rocking out with Choco, Justice, Recall, Zipley, Mountain, and Shiba. I think we both know who our predicted number 1 is right now. But kind of after looking at everything, do you have a predicted, second place team? Who do you think is going to be competing with, I think we're looking at Pitt as like the number 1. Who do you think is going to be competing early on with that team, Liam?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we know Pitt's going to be like one of the strongest teams around. They have a lot of synergy and just a lot of high-ranked players. But yeah, I think the Havana could actually come through. Not biased. I mean,
yes,
as I said, I know some of the people, and I'm on the team. I think we could be able to run it down pretty strong. And I do think the Cakes team could be pretty strong as well. Choco Man. Choco Man's just a strong DPS, and he's got a couple other people rounding out the roster as well. So.
I am excited, but that is going to do it for us here in Ruby Draft. Now, I want everybody to know, if you didn't already, the Sapphire Draft will be happening tomorrow, 9 p.m. EST. So if you are a Sapphire player, or if you were in that Diamond 1, Diamond 2 range and you were not picked up, funny enough, like myself, I I don't know what I thought, but I was like, you know what? Let's rock out in Sapphire. But those Diamond 1, Diamond 2 players, you still can be drafted, but your chance now is with the 10 teams in Sapphire. That is going to be happening tomorrow. Please make sure you tune in. Liam, any final words as we close out this Ruby draft?
I mean, like, a lot more people in UR in general this season, so I think in general that means higher rank compression. So it should be just higher level gameplay in Ruby, and just a lot of people, a lot of teams, so a lot to look forward to this season.
It's going to be a good season, a good 10-week season as well. So make sure you stick around for the full season. That is going to do it for us here. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Make sure you come back tomorrow at 9 p.m. EST, or I will hunt you down. That's going to do it for us. Thank you all. Have a good night.